broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, wow. I don't think you guys are ready for Lifetime and the summer's new hottest show, UnREAL. Everybody, welcome to the first after show. You guys are good. The first after show for Lifetime's new original scripted drama called UnREAL, and it is called The Return, the episode is. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. If you guys haven't done so already, please go on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Rate, review, subscribe. We really appreciate hearing your feedback. I have some awesome hosts here with me tonight. This panel is going to be absolutely awesome. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hey guys, I'm Nicholas Grava. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nicholas Grava.
I'm Alison Dean. You can find me on all social media at the Alison Dean.
And I'm Asia Monet. You can find me at Asia M. Seldon. That's spelled AJA.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43. Tweet at us. I hope people are liking and watching this show. Let's start with the beginning. This is basically about a show called Everlasting.
Adorable.
Yes. Which is a really nice name for like a really evil...
For an absolutely...
Fairy tale from hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's basically The Bachelor. Like, let's be real. But, you know, they're making it very specific to say, like, oh, no, it's not. It's kind of like The Bachelor.
It's The Bachelor.
Yeah, it's The Bachelor, except they really obviously don't care about these women's psychological issues
At all.
Well,
Well,
they
they
care about
kind
them.
of care.
They just don't
They're
care in a
exploiting
positive
them.
way.
They're pimping them,
Yes,
basically.
they're emotionally and physically pimping these women out. I really hope that Everlasting actually switches off like The Bachelor and Bachelorette does and has a female season. That would be cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. It would be very... That would be fun. I love that.
That'd be cute.
I actually watched The Bachelorette last night right before I watched this show, so
It was setting the stage for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. It was setting the stage. Quinn is the producer, the showrunner. Have you on the show, and she's pretty evil. She doesn't seem to have any moral compass.
She's evil, but she has her, priority set, which is she wants to have a successful show.
Right.
So she does have that in her brain at the moment. I think that's about it.
I think it's just like a pressure thing. So obviously she's in a position that has a lot of pressure. If the show doesn't do well, it's a reflection on her. And so the stakes are pretty high for her. And so she will go to great measures to ensure that that show be a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about the bottom line. What's bringing in dollars? And she clearly knows what's bringing in dollars. But I will say, I mean, it makes for quality television.
That's
It's interesting. And there are producers who act really like her. So, I mean, that's the reality of the scripted reality. People like her.
You're 100% right. That's the thing that I keep having to think about. I'm like, wow, this is so evil. And then I say, well, we're the ones that will tune into that kind of stuff and want that. And the shows that don't have that, we're like, oh, what is this going on TV?
Exactly.
So in a way, we have to look at ourselves. And I think you're right. A lot of producers and a lot of shows, that's what I found myself questioning the most. How realistic is this?
I actually worked in reality for a couple of years, and I got to go to set a lot. And, I'm not going to say like what show or where, but yes, to an extent, this stuff does happen. Story producers will kind of act like they're friends and then be like, oh, I heard so-and-so talking about you, get them riled up, and then they start a fight, and then they shoot the fight. And that's kind of how, things happen.
They kind of play like puppet master, basically.
It's messed up.
I do question, though, like, as a contestant on the show, you don't go in being skeptical about these things, like just making all these new friends real quick and suddenly like trusting them when they're giving you this life advice off the bat. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if I meet somebody once or twice, I'm not about to be like, oh, that's good advice. Let me go act on that right now.
See, I'm with him on that one.
Thank
though.
you.
I probably would have been one of the ones eliminated on the first the first round, because I'm kind of like grounded when I meet somebody. I have to kind of build that trust, and I'm always reading people. So when I'm silent, that means I'm reading you. I'm knowing how I should approach you. So I know they would have eliminated me.
You wouldn't have even gone.
Asia.
Asia, you would not even gone on the show. So I'm like, let's take it one step further. I think that overall, we as a panel could probably agree that we wouldn't be that trusting. We wouldn't do something like that. But I think there are obviously many, many, many a person across this great nation
who will
that would freely go on a show like that and trust whomever.
Well, I found it interesting. Did you see when they kept going back to, I was the one that convinced her to come on the show, and they showed a little bit of backstory and how I always thought that on these shows, these people are like itching and scratching to get on the show. But I guess there are a select few people that they do really want to target and get. And I thought that was dirty but interesting.
And it's one of the producers is the one that said that, I thought it was our protagonist, and I will still continue to say that Rachel is our protagonist. That's what all the synopses say. But she has a very dark side. We kind of are only very lightly introduced into her past and things that she did on the season prior. That she really messed up her life, and she's done some, and we saw her, do some kind of messed up things this episode to manipulate the contestants, but that's her job.
The one thing good about her, though, is clearly she knows she's doing something wrong, which is why she's kind of seen as crazy in this bubble of a world. Everyone else is just doing things and acting as if, like, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
she has a conscience.
She has which she's battling, clearly, but I think that's the only saving grace in her at the moment.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see how, because there's definitely backstory that we have not been fully exposed to. So it's going to be interesting to see how her whole character arcs throughout the season. The changes she goes through. Because there's obviously things now that she's aware of that she does that she doesn't agree with them, but she is going to continue to do them because she needs a job. It's what she knows. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how her character develops. I'm interested.
I do see that too. I think she's battling more so with her morals. She's a woman first, and I see that when she's manipulating a lot of these women, that's kind of what she considers, but for the sake of her job, she does as she's supposed to do. But I see her as being like a junior Quinn, her producer. I see her being a lot like her. Getting to know her character, and Quinn's character too. I'm thinking Quinn was probably a younger her, which is why they kind of connect more so than they think. But I definitely see her being like a junior Quinn.
It definitely seemed to me like Quinn kind of had her under her wing. There was a level of protectiveness that she had for Rachel.
I don't know. I would argue that Quinn and her relationship is similar to Rachel's relationship and the contestants.
I think that.
Like, so just like Endgame.
She grew, for example, the ending of the episode when she's like, "Oh, it's taken care of," because and therapy is now in house. Yeah, because she wants her there to get her the ratings, just like just like Rachel wants the contestants.
Right.
So I don't know, and I think Adam is Adam, right? Yeah. I think Adam is the same thing to Quinn in that aspect.
Adam is thinking. Well, go ahead.
Oh no. We all have so many things to say. I have so many things to say about this show. Adam is confusing. So Adam is the Bachelor, basically. And I'm sorry to keep.
Oh, I meant Chet, not Adam. Then.
Oh, you meant Chet.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, so Chet. Yeah, and I forgot to mention Chet. Chet, who's like the network executive.
No, I think he's like the creator of the show.
Okay, so he's the creator, and him and Quinn are sleeping together. We later find out that she's his mistress at the end of the episode. But it's weird. They were like having sex in a trailer.
An unconventional, I guess, scenario.
Yeah. But I'm glad you accidentally said Adam because he's British, and that automatically kind of like makes them seem, sweeter than they are, I suppose.
He was just good to look at. But he's an opportunist. I mean, everybody came in there with wanting to get something from each other, period. Everybody had a strategy. He is trying to get investors to invest in his hotel. He kind of made that clear from jump. He was like, sure, I'll shoot, but you have to shoot at my hotel. Yeah. And you have to basically show, I guess, where they're at or the name of the hotel. He's thinking about it from a business standpoint. He doesn't want to be there.
I actually thought that was really odd to me, because in the context of a show like this, to have your lead guy and not be under contract, like the fact that was a thing, like, oh no, he hasn't signed anything, that would never happen. Yeah. I mean,
you would lose your job.
There's just so much risk in that I don't think Quinn, being as smart as she is, would ever say action knowing that he hasn't.
Right. Yeah. So that part I was like, I'll go along with this, but no.
Yeah. The only way I would have believed that was if they had someone else, or they were like really waiting on him and he hadn't gotten back to them, and then they had someone else and he was like, okay, just kidding, last minute, I'll do it.
If they legitimately had the backup guy there.
The one that cured malaria.
I think too, because I think Quinn did that because she knew Rachel would get the job done, because that's just the kind of person she is. She's so used to her. Whatever it is that Quinn wants, she kind of answers it to her back in command, basically. But I kind of see, because we never saw him actually sign that contract and we didn't hear anything about that, I kind of see him kind of throwing that up to kind of blackmail.
Oh, you think that could come back?
Definitely, because we never spoken about it, or it was never talked about since then, after that point. So I can see him kind of throwing that up into play in future episodes.
Did you guys feel like there was at all of a romance connection between him and Adam and Rachel?
Definitely.
Just that one scene when they were together. You saw more than that?
Wait, which
when
one
she
scene?
pulled him in the room to and she took
the
off his
bathroom?
mic to talk to him.
And he tried to kiss her, right?
Yeah. And she's like, oh, no, we ain't going there right now.
But has she gone there in the past with other, like that? Because
is that where the true love is in the show? I don't know.
Well, with the trailers, honestly, I thought when I saw the trailers that was the direction the show was going in. Now that I've seen the pilot, I'm like, okay, that was kind of like a mislead, but maybe there is something there, just that's not like the main thing, because Rachel also has her ex-boyfriend who is working on the set, Jeremy, with his fiance. So that is, it's too much to have like that, and then her and that's just a lot.
I think it leaves us open for a lot of different storylines in the future. It sets us up, but I definitely think they're gonna play that card. If they didn't, I think it would be no use.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting in the final sequence when she was looking at all the videos or like where all the cameras were, and it was like they made us pay particular attention to the scene where he's in bed with someone, obviously.
Yes.
So yeah, she may harbor some, I don't know, a little bit of like curiosity for him, perhaps.
And I think they two kind of get each other and get what they're trying to do. I just feel like they connect on a mental level, so I definitely see some romance maybe stemming from that, because I actually wrote them down as a love connection. But I think that they might get it on and popping.
Well, they do end up teaming up,
Which I wonder, has she ever done something like that before, or is
Probably.
that because?
Yes.
Oh, you think she has
Sure.
against Quinn to do something like that?
That's where Jeremy could come into play. I don't necessarily mean like him having been a character on the show, but I can definitely see them possibly having worked together as far as like making good television, because he's a videographer, it looks like. So I never know, maybe she could have told him like cut to this, or shoot this, or something.
Undermine Quinn when she knows the crew. Yeah, that could be.
So, Rachel and Adam team up to kind of trick Quinn as to who he's picking, which makes me want to get into the ladies. The awesome crew of ladies, which is where the comedy of the show really comes in, because I thought it was really funny, the show, but it was messed up.
I did not find it funny.
Dramatic.
I felt it sad in a lot of ways.
It was.
Because if this was a standalone show, I would say, oh, this is funny. This is a drama written, but it's funny. But knowing that, like, this ripples or sort of mirrors reality in a slight way, that's what made me think, like, this is kind of sad. In some ways. You find comedy in that. That's just sick and twisted, but fine, sad. I mean,
there was that, like, very awesome bridesmaids moment where they all like were peeing in the
yeah.
So that was funny. I mean,
yeah.
that was like blatantly funny. But yes, I can see where you're going. The rest of it was a little like, ooh.
But they are caricatures in a way, so I could see that as being funny.
Yeah, okay, so we have the villain, who's Brittany. And we talked about her before the show started a little bit. I love this actress. She's been in lots of things like The Vampire Diaries, also John Tucker Must Die, one of my favorite movies. And she's Very funny. You know, basically Rachel tells her before she goes in to meet him that Adam is a very sexual person.
Yeah, that was funny, actually.
Yeah.
And she just like goes in for it. She's like, give me some of that butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got it.
She got
it.
She
She got
two
a handful.
handfuls, yeah.
She got a lot.
Why did he not like her and he liked the slutty one, Grace, who was also very funny, I thought. She just really like...
The one that was going at it on the couch or the thing by the pool?
one at the end in the cameras, and then they start hooking up at the pool, and then they have to tear them away from each other. Oh, no, what did she say? She said something really... Okay, this is what Grace said when she met Adam when they had their first conversation. There's nothing like the feeling of a powerful animal between your legs. She's like, oh my God, did I just say that? That's so embarrassing. Like, she planned that.
Yeah.
For sure. And, you know, that... And she's like Latina, you know, the sexy, spicy...
Brazilian.
Yeah, just very cookie cutter. And then, of course, there's Mary.
Oh, Mary.
I feel bad for her too.
Most. I felt bad for her the most.
That was
Absolutely.
wrong. Like, that was so wrong how they did her. Especially Rachel, too. Like, I like Rachel, but how she threw up that abusive... And how she worded it to get her to tell about her abusive past kind of was like... I was like, you are a mind.
Straight
You're
up
playing with her
manipulation.
mind.
Yeah.
And then, like, she threw in Lily Bell. I mean, what was her baby's name?
Yeah.
Lily Bell, I think it was.
Something like Lily something, yeah.
Yeah, she kind of threw her child into it. I was just like, you know, kids are always off limits. But to me, that was where she had no morals. That's what Rachel showed. She didn't have any morals to me.
No.
Speaking of no morals, real fast, we want our audience to have plenty of morals, and we want you all to do us a huge favor and be so moral. And go to podcast1.com because we're doing this amazing survey. It will only take 3 minutes, and it'll help us get some feedback on what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what you like, what you're not so into, so we can fix it, adjust, make it better, make it awesome. And that's what we want to do. We want to make it as awesome as possible because we appreciate you. We love that you watch us, comment freely. We love engaging with you. So it's podcast1.com. I don't know how long it's going to be up, but assume it'll be up for a while. And it's there for you. And now we can resume. I'm like, sorry about that.
Commercial break.
Let's all be moral together and go to podcast1.com. Okay.
Speaking of morals, I'm going to piggyback on that. How about the in-house psychologist?
Oh, I love that.
The bootleg doctor.
What
The bootleg doctor.
Okay. Is this... Tell me this is not... That's not real, right?
I think that's like legit real.
I think
That
they do
is-
have to have
that's
doctors, though.
sick.
They do, but
Or
this is
psychologist.
the real difference. ABC could get sued so badly by having a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, like this. Yes, they
like
do.
practicing on people that are not
And that
subjecting themselves to it.
reveals the confidential information
that's true,
to
too.
the producers. And also, if someone's like tried to kill themselves, been in psych wards, like they're not going to get on ABC, and that's the bottom line. Like I said,
true.
I worked in reality, and I did work on an ABC show. It wasn't The Bachelor, but there were people that they loved, they wanted to cast. It seemed totally normal, and like one got arrested once for like smoking pot, and that was it. Like,
So
he
they're
couldn't be on
really
the
strict
show.
about their background checks.
They are. So that's the only comfort to me, that part I really don't think is
See,
realistic.
I'm a more like I watch The Real World a lot, and I know there has been people on The Real World that have some past. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe this is something. Didn't someone say in the producers' room they were like, how would she have gotten on then?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe someone thinks it's them.
But I think there's also a lot of different, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that can be accepted into the world of reality based on what network you're on, and also the level of, you sign away a lot of rights when you sign contracts with whomever it is. So I think depending on the entity, be it like a major network like ABC or maybe a smaller cable network, your rights can vary.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I signing? I don't know.
And a lot of these people that, go on reality shows, like we said, they're not us, okay, guys? Like, they, maybe don't have the best background or, like, aren't super educated. Like, they have no idea what they're signing. They don't have a lawyer. They don't know anything. And even if they're advised to get a lawyer or something, like, a lot of these people don't even know, like, what to do or where to go, and a lot of people just want to be famous.
I was going to say, I think a lot of them are also, even if they are educated and have that knowledge, I think a lot of them are blinded by the opportunity for fame. Fame. Look at this one and that one who got a career off of this. Maybe that's
diamond
me.
bracelets.
Yeah. I was waiting for someone to like run with the diamond bracelet or something like
I'm taking
dealing
off.
out diamond
Thanks
bracelets.
for the diamonds.
I'm leaving here with something.
Might not be your heart,
right, but I'm getting something.
I know. I'd be like, I lost it, and it'd be in my boobs or something. I'd like stick 3 of them in there, actually.
I'm sure we're gonna. I feel like we're gonna see a little bit of that as the season goes on. We're
I'm
like,
sure.
where are they hiding the diamonds?
Yeah, I mean, really though, and it's at least ABC just gives roses. Like the diamonds are, and there's only gonna be one person that gets to keep the diamond.
Yeah.
And it's not like a rose where you can keep it. I mean, it dies, but you don't have to give it back when you get it.
I'm keeping my bracelet. I'm keeping my bracelet.
I know, I would be too. So we have this very eclectic group of ladies.
Shaniqua.
Yes, and
The first one that came out,
the
right?
first one.
I was like, oh my god.
She was so wrong for that. And she went to Spelman. Shout out to those HBCUs too. I went to Clark Atlanta, but right across the street.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Because also the control room, which is where the producers are, I've been in those, and I used to work in those, and it is It is kind of just like that. It's exactly like that, actually. People yell they're like, camera B, get her, like, oh my god, this is so dramatic, or no, we don't want her coming in first.
She's not wifey material.
Yeah. We need the first one to be wifey material.
Whatever that was.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And the first one was definitely not wifey material. Because when they brought Britney out next, I'm like, that's not wifey material.
I'm not sure what their definition of wifey material is. They better re-look it.
I know. But one of the most upsetting parts of this episode was Brittany, who we saw will be in 2 episodes, so we'll get her for one more. Like I said, I really like her, but what they did to her was really messed up, and I kind of want to talk about it. What Rachel did to her was really messed up, specifically.
Yes, but I think it's the smallest thing compared to what we're going to see this whole season.
Oh my gosh, I'm with you.
I just think it's going to be more and more and more.
You
don't think, or do you think?
Yeah,
I do.
Every week.
Where are they going to draw the line?
No.
Are they going to?
I'm like, no. What line? No.
It's Lifetime, you guys.
There is no line.
I don't know what is. I don't really watch it. Lifetime isn't really my go-to network, although maybe you thought it was
Until now.
Yeah, until now. Where is their line? I don't know.
It's kind of like mom shows. I don't like to generalize it. They're coming out Devious Maids is not like that. I mean, it kind of is. My mom, she'll come to my house and literally after she left last week, I had 4 movies DVR'd, Face on the Milk Carton, Cleveland Abduction, that kind of thing, and but they're obviously trying to bring in
their demographic.
No, they're doing stuff. I saw the show with Jennifer Love Hewitt where she was
Client
running.
list.
There you go, the client with prostitution rings. So they're
expanding.
They're getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're working on it.
So we will see.
We're gonna see some no lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they are very female-centric. However, I was actually discussing this with a girlfriend last night when we were watching The Bachelorette. She was like, do guys really ever watch this show that are straight? And I was like, yes, but they secretly do because they kind of are fascinated by it. I think some guys, I don't
know if I have any friends that say they watch The Bachelor, but maybe they just don't admit that they do.
Yeah, I've had straight
could be the
guys
thing.
that
Maybe
will
they
be
just don't admit
can
it.
we watch it? Can I watch it with you this week? Don't tell anybody. But maybe this show will attract because it's more gritty.
Right, so
dramedy.
this could bring them in, sucker them in, then they watch it, maybe.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that could happen. So, okay. After Adam chooses his women and gives them their bracelets, Brittany does not get one. Mm-hmm. And, she's upset, embarrassed, and she won't do an interview as she's about to get in the limo.
Yeah.
And so Rachel...
Because she's unlovable.
Yeah, because she's unlovable. She's adopted. I don't,
I'm lovable.
I know, it's really sad. But, she is a strong, you could tell she has a tough exterior. Brittany.
Oh, yeah.
As she should be. Given her background.
Given
and
her
I would be strong too, So I could see why people would assume that she was unlovable, but giving her pass, like I said, you have to kind of protect yourself.
And I loved the look on her face, like when they tried to interview her, and she would just be like, he seems like a really nice guy, and it's too bad it didn't work out. Or whatever she said, smiled, looked at the
like
camera.
a producer's nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Rachel goes, what's the word I'm looking for?
AWOL?
Goes AWOL, goes rogue, and, you know, doesn't clue the producers into her plan of getting Brittany to give the interview. So, you know, she's like, guys, I can't, cameras off. It's like, come on, Brittany, let's go. She tries to befriend her. She's just feeding her shots.
Yeah. Which is another thing. Are they not aware that there's cameras everywhere? You're just going to be doing shot after shot after shot.
And that is real. That does happen on The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
That's a joke, then. I'm sorry. I don't like that.
I've never seen
that stupid to do. Come on, you know you're gonna say stuff you.
Well,
you
it's
wish
funny because I did watch Bachelor in Paradise or whatever the one is where they get like past people together, and it was so funny because there are hidden cameras where people will they'll think they're having a conversation off camera, like legitimately off camera.
Are you talking about Ashley from last season?
I am. She had one of the girls had no idea, and she basically backed herself into a corner because she said something to someone else and then basically said, no, I never said that. And it's like, oh yeah, you did, because it'd be on camera.
Man.
Yeah. It was it was like literally a scripted comedy moment because she's talking trash on tons of people, and then the girl she's talking to goes, you know, there's a camera like in the tree right there, and she goes, no, there's not, and they're like, yeah, no, see, it's right there, and then there's there too, and she goes, oh shoot.
But like to me, it's like it's reality television, so I would have gone in there knowing that I have no privacy. There is no such thing as no privacy. Even when I'm using the bathroom, and there's a chance that this can get leaked to some capacity. So I would be going
like
in there knowing that
umbrellas overhead as I'm going to the bathroom.
Exactly. Like, you need to know that you are completely naked. You are
at all times.
Exactly.
Don't think you're not.
Yeah, and they're mic'd up, and that's easy to forget. Also, like if you're mic'd up for that long of a time, I haven't been in the scenario where you forget that it's on and you don't know what you're saying or where you're saying it, and that's scary to me.
You should put a tattoo on your hand,
so
like
you
for the
always
duration.
Know.
Mike.
Yeah.
Just
Live,
Mike.
live
That's
mic.
it, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and what they do, what we find out they do on the show is that they use things out of context, which is exactly what they were doing with Brittany. Like, they're obviously not going to put in the show the producer drinking shots with her at like 5 a.m. as the sun is coming up.
Right.
You know, they're just going to get her bite and what she said and put it in.
And the producer's going to get her cash bonus.
Yeah, and then everyone's going to be like, why is it light out? She got let go when it was dark. It makes no sense.
Yeah, because I paid attention to that too.
I
like,
do
how
too.
long is this going on? Did I sleep yet? Like, gosh, what is going on?
It does not look like nighttime anymore. Yeah.
Does everything on those shows always happen at night? Like, do they live that kind of schedule where they sleep during the day and they're up all night, or no?
No, a lot of their dates are in the day, especially as the show progresses. But last season of The Bachelor, they actually like split the first night into 2 episodes, and it showed the sun coming up and the girls like sitting on the ground at the beginning of the next episode, and we left them in the dark after the roses were given out. And you literally see that it's light out.
So you see how long they're really
and these
filming
girls
for.
Are exhausted, and they didn't address it at all. And I'm like, have they been all night?
They peed in the bushes. They haven't eaten.
Yeah. So, and that's production for you. So poor Brittany leaves like completely mortified. Probably is going to go back to the psych ward.
She's gonna go to the Bad Girls Club next.
She's gonna hit every show she can.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, and someone I really wanted to talk about too was Faith, the girl that.
Yeah.
Yes, because we kind of skipped over that Adam keeps that Rachel convinces him to drive Quinn kind of like nutty, and they called her something really mean. I wrote it down. Let's see.
She was the virgin?
No, she's the one they said like looked like a man.
A linebacker.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the virgin? That was the
that
virgin.
is the
yeah,
virgin,
sorry,
too.
that is the virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the virgin.
The linebacker virgin.
Yeah, the line. Yeah, it actually. I don't know. It was very. This poor woman. It was. I felt so. I think I actually felt worse for her because at least Mary. It looks like she is tougher and can handle it. This woman cannot. And it is just uncomfortable.
It's just so. To me, it's just completely the total opposite of who she is as a person. And of course I think they scouted her out. Shia, or I think her name is Shia. I think she's the one who kind of scouted that character out.
That producer.
I think they brought her in to kind of throw things off and she would be a different character for the show, which is why I think they brought her in, because she's so like religious, I guess it appears to be. Her grandmother raised the funds for her boobs with the church's tithes and offerings or whatever. So I mean, it's a good element, a different type of character that I think will add some intensity to it, as we can see.
I did like the scene that when she was crying and Adam pulls her to the side. I really did like how they engaged with each other. I thought that was kind of
he was faking it.
I know, but I still appreciated it.
I thought that was real.
You did?
I thought that's why Quinn cut it off, because it was getting to like
it was getting
I think she
not a
thought
real
it
love
was real.
connection, but
what did she say? It's like two guys in a locker room right now chatting or something
I
like
think
that.
They were just like,
you know what? To me, that was a bit of like a continuity error, because he seemed genuine in that moment when he seemed like he felt very bad for her. But then when he was with Rachel, like plotting, like
it was like, no, that's his real
said
self.
something. Yeah, he said something really mean about her, and I was just like, wait, I'm confused.
I think that's the reality of him, though. I think anything we see out there doing that, like, is not. It's just him for the cameras. He's putting it on for his, which is like, bring them to Napa. Let's get my hotel going. Other than that, I think he's just trying to get his name out there and salvage his reputation from what we heard was damaged.
It's kind of funny too how they chose a character like this, because like in previous actual bachelors, I mean we can trace the trajectory that some of these actual bachelors have had in terms of some of them coming on with really strong business intent, and then and it works in their favor, even if they're like the most horrible like people.
Well, sign me up then.
Sign me up.
I need to get my brand out there.
Let me go. Yeah, I mean, his character is confusing to me. I honestly it's night and day. I don't know what his intentions are.
He's a businessman. Yeah.
From a business family, that's all he knows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Money, bottom line.
Money.
But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the episode, he was like, no, this is disgusting. I don't want to do this. This is not how you're supposed to meet somebody. Like, it seemed like he had morals.
He did turn really fast.
Until he found out that he could be replaced. He was replaceable.
I think it was a combination of he didn't like the fact that he thought he could be replaced, but I also think it was the whole spinning of, okay, you have a business that you can promote off of this. You can be made to look really good when you're on the cover of Us Weekly, and suddenly, there's new attention being brought to you. And I think that spun it for him, where he realized it wasn't about the women, and it didn't matter if he chose someone or not. It was going through the motions with everybody so that the public at large could embrace him as the hotel mogul that he wants to be.
Well, didn't he have a negative experience in the press recently, which is really what she used to wedge him out there? Yeah.
Right? And she's like, you need to spin this around.
I think that hit him,
Exactly. It could completely turn he could be America's sweetheart, Once America loves you, you're good to go.
Everyone's going to Napa.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
I know. It's true. I guess we'll see about him. I'm excited to see where his character goes. I would like to, tie everything up with the Rachel flashback, and also Rachel and Jeremy, her ex-boyfriend, who hopefully I think we're going to be getting on the show very soon, which is really exciting.
He was cute too.
He's very cute, and his character gets bigger. I actually interviewed him for a website that I write for, and he was like, in the pilot, the character's kind of in episode 3 and on, he says, his character really blows up. Yeah. But we find out that Rachel obviously had a breakdown season prior, and I'm so glad we got to see that footage.
Because they've been talking about the breakdown. I was itching to see it. I was waiting. I'm like, what the hell did
what is happening? She got arrested. What is going on? Right.
Yeah. So in the season before, it was the finale. The Bachelor, whatever, was gonna propose, or no, he wasn't gonna propose to this one girl.
Is that what happens at the end of the Bachelor? They marry them, or no? They just are dating.
They propose, or they give some kind of a
promise
commitment.
ring.
Yeah, right.
Or sometimes nobody. They're like, what?
Oh wait, they don't. Sometimes they pick nobody.
I think once.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, it's happened about 3 times.
Oh no,
that's downer. You commit to 12 episodes or however long, and then nothing.
Yeah,
nothing. They're like, I don't want to
talk about. Quinn would be so.
That would have made for some good television if that was me. If I was one of those girls, they would have got all the ratings in the world. I'm going out with the bang.
So
I love it.
12 weeks for this?
I know. Go crazy.
No commitment? Oh, okay, I got your commitment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, so Quinn in the season prior is drunk. The guy is having the final bracelet ceremony on this little cliff, and the girl thinks she's about to be proposed to. And then, not Quinn, I'm sorry, Rachel runs in with a bottle of champagne, talking about how, what did she said, this show is the Satan's asshole or something?
Something in that realm.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yes. And something though happened before that we don't know about, obviously, that triggered.
I bet it was a whole season of what she's doing right now.
Right.
But and also though, I mean, she's I think done this for a long time. Like she'd probably, I'm gonna guess 10 seasons maybe before. Who knows? Maybe 5.
She's
at least.
Seasoned.
Yes.
Okay. Overcooked.
Come on, Sherry. Come on the
She
show and tell us
overcooked.
what the whole backstory
You need a new
is.
job, baby. It's
I know.
messing with your psyche.
That would be amazing.
She's done. Yeah.
Yeah. So she then goes and tells the couple that this is terrible, and also that he is going to break up with the girl. Right at that moment.
So then she freaks.
Yeah.
As anyone would.
And Rachel, takes the convertible that is supposed to be for the winner and the bachelor, and she drives away, and she get a DUI and Grand Theft Auto.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Therapy,
But it made for
community
excellent
service.
television, as Chet said.
Yes.
It made for excellent, which is what it all boils down
Right.
to.
You can cut away from her, see the other girl go crazy.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's all
That's
fantastic.
a great season finale.
No,
But,
nothing's gonna top that now.
I hated that he Chat at the beginning of the episode was like, you're not hot enough to be that crazy.
Oh yeah, I wrote that down.
I
I'm sure
did.
that
That was a choice sentence for sure.
It definitely was. And
Quinn called Adam her meat puppet.
yes, meat puppet. See, there's a lot of hidden, comedy things like that, but we end the episode with kind of like a almost creepy, it's back to present
Voyeuristic.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's in the control room and this leaning back on her chair, and we see a view from the top of her, and she's crazy eyes.
She does. It's like, what is going on in her head right now as she takes in all the different footage that she's looking at? Is she feeling bad for everybody? Is she feeling invigorated to see all the crazy that's happening? Is she what is happening?
I got that she was into it.
Yeah, me
this
too.
she's sitting at this
Definitely.
day, and I think that's a position that someone's always watching all the cameras, because she was recording certain things and not recording, and I literally think it's what gets her. She was that she was in her element.
She's
right
I
there.
can use all this tomorrow.
Exactly. I think for her, it's more of I have the power. I can manipulate and get you guys to do anything she wants to do, which she can. That's what she's there to do. She's the mystery freelancer.
Oh, yeah.
That's her job. So I feel like that was her moment. Gosh, I'm running, because technically she is running the whole thing. Quinn relies on her just as much. Well, Quinn relies on her, basically. She's there to do a job for her. So it's kind of I have the power. I can do whatever I want here. They're just all pawns in her chess game.
Yeah, and which just really set up the rest of the season/series. And, it's this show is going to be dark.
Oh.
Did she look into the camera at the end? Was
It
that
looked like it,
breaking forth while
almost.
looking at? I felt like you looking at me right now, watching you watch them. Oh, that's crazy.
Watch me.
Yeah.
I have to rewatch that. I don't.
There was
I don't
a
know.
second. It got weird. Got
Right
real,
before
real
it ended.
fast.
And then it just cut and it was over.
Yeah, it was weird.
So, okay.
She be looking at you, kid.
Just
Oh, I
you.
get
It was kind of scary.
Just you.
Oh, okay.
Just you. Let's get into some predictions, shall we?
Me first? I don't want to go first.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV.
I'll go first. Not a problem. Needs Rachel to bring that comedy television, which is what she wants. And yeah.
I think those are good. I think those are strong. Those are strong. Okay. I'm gonna say that there's gonna be a reveal somewhere mid-season where all the diamond bracelets are really cubic zirconia.
I thought that, the first scene, I said, ain't no way they're putting diamonds on there.
I know.
Right
I was
now.
like, it's all every bracelet is
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really
Well,
strong.
because honestly,
That's really
you know
strong.
what? Right now, there's just too many.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
No, I agree
need
with
more
you.
information.
Yeah.
And actually, I think, I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying, Asia, because I think that there's a lot of stuff that is yet to be had between Jeremy and Rachel. I definitely see drama gonna be stirred, and for sure the fiance has issue with Rachel, because I do think that Jeremy's heart is still with Rachel on some level.
Like he said, he was like, she's like, your fiance? And he's like, well, I called you first.
I know.
He tried to do that, so she was his number one.
And he was also like, but stay away from me. And I think it's because he loves her too much to be around her.
It's that type of situation.
So there you go.
He doesn't actually want her gone. He just wants,
Do you like that more?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, she was the rebound.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. The only thing I'm going to add is just the Adam and Rachel. There's gonna be there's something happening, and if there isn't, then I'm gonna be the number one critic. So no, I do think that's what I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that. Also, I think we're gonna see that as much as Rachel's messing up these other girls' lives, it's like her life that she's messing up the most. Sorry, that's all I got.
Yeah, goodbye. No, I'm just I just kind of had an epiphany listening to all of your predictions.
Ain't that something?
I love when that happens.
Yes. Okay, so here's what I think. Here's what I think happened before Rachel's breakdown, okay? I think that she felt really guilty. She was doing a lot of messed up stuff. I think she was cheating on Jeremy with the guy playing The Bachelor.
Amen, sister. I could see that.
No.
History repeats itself, and she went and told the girl, he's not gonna pick you. Like, she almost seemed like,
Oh, I thought you meant Adam. She was within a relationship with Adam. No, you mean the last guy. Oh,
the
maybe.
last guy. And then she went crazy because she lost it because of all the stuff she was doing and because she was sleeping with him, maybe.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
that
it.
too.
I like it.
I don't know.
That
one.
We're like weaving a tall tale right now. I like it.
I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of messed up stuff. I definitely think. I honestly, this is going really dark. I think like someone's gonna try to kill themselves. Like, I mean, every time I watch The Bachelor, especially, I'm like, when is one of these girls, gonna?
Oh gosh, don't say that.
I know.
Oh
I'm so sorry. It's an awful thing to say, but you know what? It goes through a lot of people's minds.
It's a heavy experience. Just it's a very unconventional thing to do, to be competitive in that way with people where you're really losing sight of, even if you're compatible with someone, it's just like, I want to win.
It's a competition.
It's a competition
instead
for
of
a
match.
prize, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I definitely can see how it could affect you mentally, for sure.
And just one last thing too, because Shia's character too, who seems to be a bit jealous or envious of Quinn, she could possibly be who Quinn was. I mean, sorry. Shia was jealous of Rachel. Quinn is the mean evil lady, the producer. But I can see Shia possibly turning or doing something that Rachel did on the last episode, kind of going crazy and like, forget all of this, it's fake, it's scripted, blah, blah, blah. I could see her possibly doing that too, because she's not the prized possession in Quinn's eyes. Rachel is. So I can kind of see her.
If the writers are watching us, we just gave them a full season.
Okay. Write that check. Write that check.
Yeah, exactly.
I need those coins.
Let us know if you guys need any extra, writers or hands on set. We will be there. All right, guys. I think that basically wraps up the first episode of UnREAL. Where can we find all of you guys on the interweb?
And I'm Asia Monet. You can find me at Asia M. Seldon. That's AJA.
You can find me at the Alison Dean on all social media, and coming up right here on Bloodline, which is definitely not like UnREAL.
That's very exciting. You can find me at Nicholas Grava on Twitter and Instagram. Coming up on I Can Do That, which is maybe similar to UnREAL. It's a reality show.
And you can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram, and at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com. And please don't forget to follow AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the works. All right, thanks, guys. We will see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.